Hey, 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 how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. So mom's taxi has commenced and I am sitting here taking myself off to a coffee shop. So the daughters are off for a stagecoach thing. They're going to practice Beauty and the Beast. So that was interesting for them, and it's always interesting for me because I'm a home educating mother. I generally get to spend lots of time with my daughters, which is awesome. So it's really odd when during the summer holidays or during holidays of any kind, they go off for a whole day. So this is the only times they ever go off for like 9 to 4 every day, and it's a little bit like, wow, is this what it would be like if I had that all the time? And I'm not, yeah, I like my life the way it is, truth be told. Anyway, this is the Church of RNK. My name is rosemarynonnyknight. How are you doing? Now we're talking about delighting ourselves in the Lord. This is it. I woke up this morning and that was the thought on my heart. Delight yourself in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your heart. And I know it's a Christian kind of thing, so it sounds as if I'm just about to start preaching at you, which I am about to start preaching at you. But you know what? It goes beyond just that. There was a song I used to hear. It was a pastor who unfortunately seemed to fall off the wagon or something at one point in his life, basically. Looking at the map as well, I'm not completely sure where I'm going. And one of the things, and I remember him singing this song, this was when I was a teenager. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Yes, He will give you the desires of your heart. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you some song like that. Anyway, basically, so that's your affirmation for today: is delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. But I need you to go beyond just thinking about it from a very religious perspective, because yeah, that alighted in my mind this morning. Because one of the questions I've been asking recently is, what will it take for me to be a multimillionaire very soon? Basically, and I woke up with this answer: delight yourself in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your heart. Now some of y'all are going to be listening to me and thinking, she's so selfish, she wants to be a multimillionaire, which actually is your issue more than mine. So just take that on board right now. But these are the kind of questions that I ask. Ultimately, these are the kind of questions that I ask because I have big ideas of the things that I want my life to be about. I have big ideas, big dreams of how I want to impact people, and I know that in order to impact the people that I'm called to impact, I need a heck of a lot of money. So I ain't messing around, man. I ain't messing around pretending to be some kind of spiritual but broke person. Basically, no, that is not my lot in life. So if you want to have that as your lot, then well done to you. But for me and for the people that I serve, we want to be wealthy because we know that our wealth is to be used for something incredibly amazing. And we know that money allows us to live out the call on our life in ways that being broke does not. Okay? So let me just qualify that at the start of this right now. So I ask questions of spirit like, what will it take for me to be a multimillionaire exceedingly soon? I give him a particular date, but I'm not willing to say that just yet. Basically. Oh no, I'm in the wrong lane. Anyway, I'll just carry on doing what I'm doing. The first thing that pops into my mind as I woke up this morning, because I leave myself with questions like that, knowing that overnight, whilst I'm asleep, Spirit is working, Spirit never sleeps, okay? And so I know that whilst I switch myself off, I allow Him to do His work around me. I allow myself to be open to Him. And so I kind of ask these questions just before I go off to bed, okay? And this was what came up for me. The first thing that came up for me was delight yourself in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your heart. Now again, I am Christian, yes, but this applies to everybody, whether you're Christian or not, because the deeper meaning for that, okay, is that you need to do the internal work, okay? This is the part that most people run away from. They're looking for the result without the internal work, without the connection to source, to spirit, without that wisdom that will enable you to live out the call on your life. You are trying very hard to do it alone. You're trying very hard to figure stuff out yourself because that is the way we were trained. We were trained to think that it's all very, and it is all, okay, business can be very straightforward, very logical, very for sure. However, or even success in whatever area of life that you want success in, it can be very straightforward. Whether it's relationships, whether it's your money, whether it's your health, it's very straightforward, okay? It is very straightforward. It can be very logical, but we are not logical beings. We are spiritual beings, we are emotional beings, and that comes with its own drama, okay? That comes with its own drama. And so when I say delight yourself in the Lord, I mean delight yourself in the inner life. Delight yourself in figuring out what the heck is holding you back. Delight yourself in taking the time to ask Spirit, your intuition, your higher power, Papa, for support in figuring out what is keeping me in this current situation. But then also find the courage to handle it. So don't ask and then, oh no, it can't be that, it can't be that, I'm going to ignore that and just kind of keep doing what I'm doing because, oh, you know, if I just add this tip and this other trick over here, do that step-by-step plan according to that other person, then, oh, my life will be sorted. Is it working out for you right now? Is it? I would say no, it isn't, okay? It isn't working out for you just to follow along with step-by-steps and tips and tricks and all of that kind of stuff. You may hope that it does, but it doesn't work because as a human being, you come with more stuff. You come with, and what the step-by-step that worked for some other person to get the great relationship that they want, to get the great life that they want, may not be sufficient to work for you. As well as the fact that you haven't gone through the journey that that other person has gone through to create that step-by-step. And so therefore you keep trying to follow the step-by-step, but you're on, you're off, you're on, you're off, you're on, you're off, and then you start wondering why this thing is not working for me. It's not working for you because you haven't gone the journey. You haven't done the internal work. You haven't delighted yourself in getting to know who the fuck you are, basically, ultimately. And because you haven't done that work, whatever you try to do will be a struggle. It will be a struggle because you haven't allowed yourself to grow. You haven't delighted in your own internal life. You haven't found pleasure in you. And again, that also leads to, you know, the whole self-love thing. If you don't love yourself, then I can tell you right now that you won't allow yourself to follow any step-by-steps consistently. And you know it's true because it's been happening. You won't allow yourself to follow any step-by-step consistently. So therefore, you will struggle and struggle and struggle to succeed and to prosper. And prosperity, abundance, is your birthright. It is, you are allowed it. You are allowed everything that you decide that you want to set your mind to get. But you need to set your mind. And it's the setting of mind that is the problem for most people. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. We all have to, you know, go through a certain journey in order to handle our internal nonsense and then move forward into, you know, the next phase for us. There's nothing wrong with that, but you make it seem like there's something wrong with it when you try to avoid it. I wrote a post this morning about how angry I used to be with the world generally. Ultimately, everybody in it. Angry that they, you know what, I'm going to actually park somewhere to carry on with this. But angry that, you know, not only did they do stuff to me, but now I had to forgive them. How? What? Seriously, how is that fair? So you wound me and now I gotta forgive you in order for me to live an awesome life? Annoying. At least that's the way it felt, okay? It felt quite annoying that I had to do the internal work myself. And it's one of those areas that I am a very practical person. I used to pride myself, actually. I used to pride myself on being able to just stay the course, do the work, blah, 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 and all of that kind of a thing, except when it came to the real heart of me and the things that I really did want to create with my life. And suddenly I realized that that wasn't enough. For me to live out the calling, the purpose on my life, I was going to have to go deeper than just, you know, just the surface stuff, just the step-by-steps, because the step-by-steps can take you so far, they take you to a surface level of success. But if you want true success, true prosperity in every area of your life, it's going to take you doing the internal work. I see so many people struggling and struggling, following steps, working their socks off, trying to make things happen, and that was me for a long time. But they refuse to look at what is inside of them. They think that they cannot handle it, and so they refuse to try. They refuse to handle it. They just keep trying to figure this stuff out, and then at some point usually they give up. Okay, they give up, they settle into a life of normalcy, whatever normalcy is, and so they don't get the life that they could have had. And then they say, well, I tried and it doesn't work. But no, they never tried. They never gave it their all. They never jumped off the cliff. They never really committed. They did some kind of half and half. You know what? I think I'm doing it all right. They did what they were taught at school, and school doesn't teach you to prosper in the way that you want to. School teaches you to become an employee. There ain't nothing wrong with being an employee if you like that. It teaches you also to stay down, to stay low, to stay hidden, to just be one of many. There are a few people that really prosper in a job and really go all out. But I tell you right now, it's because they do the internal work. They do I am not content to just be one of the masses. I am going deeper. I am going further. So what is it that I need to do to go further? Okay, I've done everything on the outside. I've done all the external strategies and it ain't working. So what else do I need to go? Hey, I need to delight myself in the Lord, or delight myself in the internal work so that I receive the desires of my heart. And they may not think about it in that exact way, but it's going to be true for every single person. Okay? It's going to be true for every single person. If you want more this awesome new week, if you want more and it feels like you've been hitting your head against some kind of glass ceiling, you need to do the internal work. I am not promising you that, you start doing the internal work today and tomorrow everybody will be rich. But I am promising you this: if you don't do it, you will not be. That is all there is to it, okay? That much I can tell you with guarantee, that if you do not do the internal work, you will not create the life that you desire. If you do the internal work, the only thing I can't tell you is exactly when your breakthrough will come, but I tell you right now, your breakthrough will come. Okay, your breakthrough will come. I still remember the first time I had a very powerful forgiveness episode where I was with a coach for a day, really digging deep into this internal nonsense, all the baggage I was carrying around about my past, about my family, about my parents, all of that stuff. And we really sat down with it. I did a heck of a lot of crying. And, even though for a few days afterwards, I'm calling the dude crying my eyes out, basically. And all of this stuff, it was deep. It was shift. And then within 90 days, within 90 days, my property business had doubled. I'd been hitting this ceiling and I couldn't seem to get past it, despite doing all the same stuff that had got me to this place that were of success. But I knew that I wanted to keep up leveling. Within 90 days, I looked back and thought, oh my gosh, things have changed. Things have changed. I probably was still doing the same thing. Basically, or because of the fact that I was now freer on the inside, there were certain things that I probably didn't see to do before that I now did. And that caused a change in my life. Marrying my husband was a case of literally, actually I had a vision of jumping off a cliff and saying, you know what? I'm in this. I am in this. Because oh my goodness, I cannot tell you the amount of aggravation that was coming my way as a result of choosing to marry my husband. It was just, no, you cannot do that. So everybody I loved and held dear, even the ones I didn't know, everybody was calling me, was horrendous. The amount of pressure I was under. And in the end, it came down to a decision of, you know what? I feel spirit inside of me saying it's okay. So therefore I will go. But you know what? There's no go sometimes and goes, yeah, I'll just kind of be in and out. No, there was full commitment. There was literally me jumping off a cliff saying, you know what? You have to catch me. Because if you don't catch me, I'm going to crash and burn. So far, I've been caught. So far, I've been caught. And I am blessed indeed. But it's the same with any area of your life where you are wanting to experience success at a greater level to what you've created to date. You're going to have to start to delight in yourself, delight in the inner man, delight in the internal work you need to do, the very work you sometimes try to avoid. Basically, because it doesn't feel practical. It doesn't feel like, it feels like you're wasting time. But in order for you to get the result, man, you need to sharpen yourself. And you sharpen yourself by looking at yourself. Where are the blunt edges that need to be removed? Because, honey, whether you like it or not, life has put all kinds of bluntness on you, has tried to redesign you to make you fit into their ideas of what you should look like, what your life should look like. And if you are going to be free, you have to make a decision to strip away the nonsense. You were not born broken. You were not born poor. You were not born loveless. But you've taken on all of that. And whilst you wander around with no self-awareness, it continues to haunt you. It continues to hold you back. I get people sending me messages of, oh, you know this. Oh, sorry, I put my car in gear so it's not rolling. I'll put it on park, sorry. Oh, they send me messages of, oh, I'm so thankful that you're in my life and you send me these emails and, oh, I come on your page and it's so this and that, but you know, but this is that and the other. And oh my gosh, you know, and I know that I'm called to do something. And some crazy people even say, well, okay, they're not crazy. So I'm not gonna, whatever. I know that it's just their reality at the moment. They say things like, oh, you know, I know I'm called to lots of stuff, but I don't have any money and I'm not sure that I can ever do anything like that. And money isn't everything anyway. And it's like, no, honey, right now in your life, money is everything. You are making decisions based only on money. I can't do this because I don't have the money. I can do this because if I don't do this, I will not make the money. Everything you do is based on money. And until you realize, until you start taking a deeper look inside of you, that will continue to be your story. Until you start to delight in learning where are these crazy stories coming from, that will continue to be your story. And so you'll be working your socks off, resentful of all the people getting wealthier who are working less and less, whilst you're working more and more for less and less money. And your whole life is controlled by money. And you tell yourself that there's no other way. You tell yourself, oh, it's so lovely to hear these wonderful words from Rosemary. And it just sounds so good. Yeah, I know it does. Great. I want you to feel inspired for sure, but inspired to action. Inspired to do something, not just inspired for the sake of inspired, ultimately, because inspired for the sake of inspired does not change the world. Yes, it will be scary. I tell you right now, when I got serious about moving forward, the amount of money I invested in myself, it was damn scary. I don't think everybody has to do that. Although sometimes I wonder, am I making it too easy? Am I making it too easy? Because maybe the fact that I did have to, there was no half and half. There was dive in or stay out. So I dove in. And it's like, okay, I've invested this money. It got to come back. It got to come back. My children will not eat if it doesn't come back. I'll be back in square one if it doesn't come back. So it got to come back. So what is it that I need to do? Oh, it's not just enough to learn the strategies. Although, yeah, to begin with, I had to learn the strategies, really push myself to get over my fears and all of that kind of stuff in order to build that business. But in order to push myself to build them, to get over the fears, I had to do my internal work. I had to see what is making me afraid. I had to do that forgiveness day. I had to do all of that stuff that then, elevated and elevated and elevated and elevated. And then, wow, 90 days after forgiveness day, whoa, 90 days, wow, we just kind of sped up. And it's like, and that happens. But it happens because you start to delight in doing the internal work. You start to delight in doing the internal work as well as the external work, okay? I never ever want people to think that you just kind of navel gaze forever and never do anything. I was working my socks off with my 3 daughters, pushing them around in a double push chair, basically, trying to make things happen, hiding them in the car when I thought that people would look down on me for being a mother. And things like that. So I did the external work, but I did not overvalue the external work at the expense of the internal work. I woke up earlier in order to spend time with spirit, with myself, making sure that I was on the right track. I don't always get it right. I'm not even trying to make myself into some kind of perfect person. But it's like today I get that reminder again, Rosemary, you need to delight yourself in the Lord. And that's how you get the desires of your heart. You've always known that. I've always known that. I still remember as a teenager actually having a particular example of a job that I wanted desperately. It was an internship in in somewhere down in the country in Kent. I was going to work in a drug company or pharmaceutical company, and I really desperately wanted it. And I remember getting that verse again, delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. And so I just used to spend a heck of a lot of time praying and seeking God and all of this kind of a thing, basically, and just claiming it. And anywhere there was any doubt inside of me that said, you cannot get that, I would shake it off and claim it and claim it and claim it. Look it in the eye. Look at the resistance. Turn it around. I am getting this. I am getting this. And yes, I got it. And every time I set my mind like flint like that, when I do the internal work to make sure that there's no resistance, no darkness inside of me, whatever I need to shift needs to be shifted, because the Spirit will bring this stuff up to you so that you can shift it and get everything you want, because Spirit is on your side. It's not just bringing stuff up to you so that you can fall down and break. Because people get worried that if I start facing my internal shit, then I'll be broken. I will never recover. You're already broken. You want to recover. Basically, now I don't believe that your natural state is broken, so don't even take that to mean that. But I'm saying that when you keep this stuff all over you and you don't have the courage to handle it, then you are choosing to live in a broken state when you don't have to. When you don't have to, you're choosing to be broken when you don't have to be broken, because, you hear all this wonderful self-help, spiritual stuff. Oh, no, you're not broken. Everything is perfect. It is if you choose it to be. If you don't choose it to be, then nothing is perfect. You can deceive yourself as long as you like, or you can just do the internal work. Okay? Because spirit, universe, higher power, everything is for you. It's for your healing, for your total healing. But you have to choose. You are the one that chooses. And the moment you choose, it's like the angels are all happy. And I'm so glad that you finally seen that it's on you. Do you want more? You can have more. Choose it. Jump off the cliff. Stop holding on so tightly to a life you don't even like. Stop holding on so tightly to ideas that are keeping you in a life that you don't like. And you know what, even as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me, because there are areas of my life where I'm still holding on to things that I really shouldn't be holding on to any longer. I should know better. So, the higher you get, the standard gets higher. The expectation from you is higher. So some of the levels that you guys may be working at right now are stuff that I've had to handle already, but I'm expected to do even harder things, deeper, more intense things that I need to let go of. Okay, because you keep shifting, you keep moving, and I have great intention of the life that I now want to live, and I've wasted more than enough time. I am not doing it any longer. So it's time for me even to delight myself even more in the internal work so that I can receive the desires of my heart. So that the desires of my heart are actually what I say they are. Because that's the other thing. If you say your desires are one thing, but then on the other hand, you're trying very hard to stay safe. You're trying very hard for people not to think badly of you. So your desire, the desire of your heart, may actually be to stay safe. So you say it's this thing over here. Oh yes, I want to change the world, and but only if I'm safe, and only if nobody thinks badly of me, and only if blah 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 blah. And whilst you're saying that, your desire is actually stronger to stay safe, to stay, make sure everybody loves you, all of that stuff. Your desire, you're getting your desire. You're getting it. You just don't realize, because you haven't done the work. You haven't done the internal work. You haven't delighted yourself in the spirit within. You haven't. And so therefore you don't realize that your desires are in conflict with each other. So you are getting everything you desire. You just don't realize you desire it. Basically, so you're saying with your mouth what you say you want, but your insides are saying, only if I'm safe though. Only if I don't have to jump off the cliff. Only if I get to keep this pet belief over here that says that, I don't know whatever keeps you back. Because the truth of the matter is this: if you have any belief system, I don't care what religion you are, I don't care what your spiritual anything is, or your personal development track is, if there's anything that keeps you back from moving forward, it is not of God. Okay, regardless of which pastor told you what, or which spiritual guru told you the other, for you specifically, it is not of God. You need to question it. The truth always stands up to scrutiny. Most people don't want to look at the truth because they want to be fed ideas, and you don't want to question it because it keeps you safe. And I say, honey, if you want to live the big, amazing life that you see in your mind's eye, it's time for you to delight in doing the internal work. Delight yourself in the Lord. Delight yourself in the spirit within, so that you can receive the real, true desires of your heart. Delight yourself in the Lord. Delight yourself in the Lord. and he will give you the desires of your heart. And he will give you the desires of your heart. I still remember that song from ages and ages ago. I still remember singing that ages ago. I think I was like 12 or 13 or something like that. Basically, back in Nigeria, actually, I had this tape with this pastor dude singing his heart out. Ultimately, I remember it really making an impact on me then. And it has been one of those recurring themes that keeps coming back. Whenever I want to go deeper, whenever I want to go deeper and higher, it comes back to the internal work. It comes back to, okay, you're staying too much on the surface, Rosemary. It's now time for you to elevate properly to the next phase for you, which means going deeper inside. The kingdom of heaven, it's inside. It all starts here. It all starts here. It all starts here. Inside. Okay, not your physical here. Basically. And it's time for you to dig deep into this stuff and to choose to live that life of abundance. But it will take you taking your hands off the wall, the grip you have on your current existence. You need to let it go. Little by little, just the things that come up for you. Stop trying to avoid them. Stop trying to think, oh, well, I can't handle that. If it's come up for you, it's because it's the time to handle it. And there are going to be things even right now that are bubbling up inside of you that you have been holding on to. Pet beliefs, pet ideas, pet things that keep you back. And yet you want more. Then, honey, it's time to delight yourself in the internal work so that you can receive the desires of your heart. Stop hiding from it. Delight yourself in the Lord. He will give you the desires of your heart. And this, at this point, that is where the abundance mastermind comes from. It is from that place of knowing, you know what, I don't have all the wisdom for you. Yeah, I have practical strategies. And I can give you those. I do give you those. You read my blog, they're all there. But for you to step into the call to the big place that you are born to live in, it's going to take you doing some internal work, and I create the space for you to do that in the Abundance Mastermind. I help you hear from Spirit, okay? I know it's all slightly woo-woo and crazy, but you know what? If you're spiritual, it's not woo-woo and crazy, it's just normal. It's just normal life. I don't care what denomination or religion you belong to, because, hey, Spirit is speaking to us all, okay? And I create this space for you to learn how to tap into your internal wisdom, to have the courage to face this stuff. I give you personal prophecy yourself, as well as, yes, the good old, this is the external things you need to do as well to elevate any area of your life, okay? This isn't limited to just business, though I do believe strongly that it's impossible to be free when you are struggling financially. I'm sorry, it just is. And lots of spiritual people struggle financially, telling themselves money is not everything, and yet their whole life is controlled by how much money they have. But anyway, I've said this already. Don't be that person, please. Don't be that person. Decide that, you know what, I am going to be successful in all areas, and nothing is sacred, nothing is bad. Nothing is bad unless I determine that it is. So therefore, don't let it be bad. Okay? You are someone who, with money in your hands, you could literally change people's lives in ways that you cannot whilst you struggle. So why make money bad? Why make it unspiritual? Don't be that person. And maybe that's why you need to be a member of the Abundance Mastermind, so that you allow yourself to experience abundance, not just in relationships and health and career or work or business, but also in your money as well, so that you can make the dent that you're here to make, so that we can. That's just what bubbles in my mind right now is, you know, because I go to church, and one of the things, every so often somebody brings up the verse about how the wealth of the wicked are coming to the righteous, and I look at it, everybody's all excited, and I'm looking at them and thinking, yeah, but what are you doing to create that? What are you actually doing to create that? I don't think it's necessary. Well, I don't think it's necessary for us to wait for the wealth of the wicked to come our way. Basically, whatever that even means. You can create wealth. And I see, yeah, so I always kind of laugh a little bit when people say this, that it's like, yeah, but you're not doing anything different, so why would it come to you? Or have you shown yourself to be a responsible user of wealth? And if not, then no, maybe you are the one that they're thinking is wicked right now, because you're refusing to take responsibility for growing your wealth. So maybe the definition of wicked is someone who has capability but refuses to step into it. Because they're afraid, they're worried, they've decided that money is somehow bad. And instead of dealing with that issue, they keep telling themselves stories. Anyway, I could go off on a whole different topic right there. For right now, though, the Abundance Mastermind. Let me get myself off to my coffee shop, huh? The Abundance Mastermind is starting, or the doors to this first version close on Thursday night. So it'll be like Friday morning for us in the UK, but Thursday night Eastern time, I will close the doors. Whoever's come in has come in. Everybody else, you're gonna have to wait, and it'll be at least double the price when we come to do it again. This is just my first one, and I want testimonials from this one, so I decided to kind of give it at a really accessible level, so that people are able to, well, so that, yeah, ultimately, because I want something from it. I want your testimonials from it, truth be told. But I know it's worth a heck of a lot more. So because the transformation you're going to get from this is going to be like nothing else. This isn't just me telling you what my best wisdom is. No, this is me helping you tap into spirit for you. Specifically, what are the things that you need to do to move forward? And it's 6 sessions over an 8-week period, and you get access to me in between as well as we'll have a one-to-one session, you and I, just to make sure that we're on the same page, and also to help me start to really picture you in my mind when I'm praying and affirming stuff ultimately, and all of that stuff. And so yes, we need I will be closing the door on Thursday night. So you have an opportunity from now till then to go and join in. This is something novel. It is something like you've never experienced before, really. And I know it's going to be incredibly transformational for those that join in all areas. So this isn't about you being an entrepreneur or not, although if you are, of course, I'll support you with that. But you know what? I've helped people get, I remember getting a client an extra 25,000 in their career. Basically just based on the stuff that we did together. So I know whether your income growth can come from anywhere. So for that, it's still going to be about doing the internal work in order to free you to receive from everywhere and anywhere. And that's part of this Abundance Mastermind, is to help you do exactly that, to step into a freedom lifestyle. It doesn't matter where you are right now. We will be freeing you if necessary. If you're not quite sure what you're here to do, we'll help you get clear on that. It's just all the different areas we're going to go deeper in so that you can level up. Okay? So go and have a look at it. It's at rosemarynonnyknight.com/abundance. If your name is on it, you will know. Do not delay. Do not procrastinate. Join in. Don't be that person who is just kind of like, oh, I should have. You've done that so long already, haven't you? I used to be that person. Oh, I should have done that. I should have done the other. Oh, but I was so scared. Well, I didn't say that. I always had a good reason for not doing it. Like, oh, I don't have the money. Yeah, well, you'll never have the money if you keep acting based on how much money you have currently. I'll just be honest, it's the truth. Okay, you have to level up from where you are right now by making decisions that are scary, that are bigger than you. Okay, you make a decision that's bigger than you, that says to the universe, says to spirit, says to God, I am ready. I'm done. We're playing small. So, okay, let's go, man. And then things start to open up for you. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. You have to believe in order to see. You can't see first and then believe. It doesn't work that way. And I see so many people of faith in theory doing that. Oh no, I'm just being logical. Really? Call yourself spiritual and what? You're going to tell me about being logical? Okay, well, fine. You get logical results, which are usually not much. Okay, you can get so far. You know what? I was a pharmacist. That was a logical way. That was my logical path. It wasn't all bad. So if you're content with that, then great. Stay on that path. But if you want explosive results, then hey, it's time to change path. The Abundance Mastermind will get you there. Will help you change practically everything about your life. So again, it's not just for entrepreneurs. It's for people who are ready to level up. If that's you, it's rosemarynonnyknight.com/abundance. I really would love to work with you. Okay, I really want to work with those people who feel called to work with me, because I know we're going to have great, amazing fun together. I am going to be so excited by the changes I see in you. You are going to be excited by everything that happens to you as well. Go join in. It's rosemarynonnyknight.com/abundance. If there's someone you know in your world that needs to hear this, please tag them in or share this across. It is time for us to really spread this message of freedom. It's time. Look at the world in which we live. We need to wake up, okay? So please share this. It was even more powerful than I thought it was going to be, truth be told. All I had was delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. And here we are. Okay. Delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. That's just the truth. You need to listen to all of it to understand what I mean by that. But it's time to fight for and to deliberately design the life you are born to live because you want to. Until the next time, honeys. Oh, hey, Susan. Just as I finish. Until the next time, much love, my honeys.